625-4370 or go to renterswarehouse.com right now and book a free home rental price analysis. See what your home will rent for, because you can't buy happiness, but you can rent it. WMAL. Are you ready for healthy, happy holidays? Larry O'Connor here, and thanks to the EMP 180 weight loss program, I lost over 40 pounds. You can do the same. Wow,
hello, and welcome to the first round of this tournament.
By getting into that
nice to see you.
Suit or dress
Let's get down
that
on the
hasn't
tee.
fit in years. Starting EMP 180 will be the best gift you've ever given yourself. Forget all those times you tried to lose weight. EMP 180 is unique, becoming the standard of nutritionally based weight loss in the D.C. area because it works, empowering you to keep weight off and to live a longer, healthier life. You lose the weight, but more importantly, you lose fat, you gain muscle, and you learn to eat in a sustainable way. EMP 180 is programmed to fit your unique
deep
and busy
rough
lifestyle,
here.
offering
Not going to
incredibly
sugarcoat
personalized
it.
service with an entire team dedicated to helping you achieve your goals and beyond. If I can do it, you can do it. For a consultation in Alexandria, Rockville, Woodbridge, Tysons Corner, or the newest location in Ashburn, call 855-888-0180 or visit EMP180weightloss.com or just Google them, EMP180.
Now, the Larry O'Connor Show. At AM
Could be in the rough here.
Yeah, we're going to talk about these fires coming up in a minute and whether we should
I thought for sure you were heading for trouble on that last shot, but
Jack
wound up on the green.
Up soon too. His
Look
son
at
is
you.
going to join us. And Stan Lee, whole lot of stuff going on. This one. This is kind of my favorite of the hymns. Just think. 7 months from now, my daughter might be singing this on her induction day. I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to jinx it. Still waiting for that congressional letter. We'll see what happens. But happy Veterans Day, I should say, to all the Navy sailors out there and the aviators. What do they say about the Navy? The Navy has a better Air Force than the Air Force, they say. Well, if you're in the Air Force, you can call in and disagree.
Yeah, way to start things out. That nice little par.
Vets want us to say to you.
All right, let's haul off and just smash this next drive.
Thank you. And Dan Crenshaw, the Navy SEAL, who is coming into Congress now, who was the butt of a stupid joke on Saturday Night Live, he had the grace and manners to go on Saturday Night Live. He said, well, let me play it for you so you can hear it from his own lips there. He said this.
This is Veterans Day weekend, which means that it's a good time for every American to connect with a veteran. Maybe say thanks for your service, but I would actually encourage you to say something else. Tell a veteran, never forget. When you say never forget to a veteran, you are implying that as an American, you are in it with them. Not separated by some imaginary barrier between civilians and veterans, but connected together as grateful fellow Americans.
Yeah, and by the way, he said this whole never forget thing on behalf of and to help, and I wonder if this was written for him by Saturday Night Live. Pete Davidson, the comedian, so-called, who made this joke about him at his expense. Pete Davidson's father apparently died in the attacks in 9/11. And he said, just like Pete's dad. And then he turned to Pete's dad and said, never forget. He said, this includes those Americans who fell on 9/11. And so he was really redeeming Pete Davidson in this in an incredible way. A couple of things. First of all, I think it should be pointed out that Pete Davidson's attack on him was not over his military service. I mean, he made fun of the injuries he incurred. But his attack on Pete Davidson was because he was a Republican. His attack on Dan Crenshaw was because Dan Crenshaw is a Republican. If Dan Crenshaw, as an injured veteran of the U.S. Navy SEALs, was running as a Democrat, the joke never would have been told. All right? So these things that we need to say to each other, to thank each other for our service, to say never forget, or whatever it is you want to
Okay, you are in the rough,
bring up.
and just so you know, you are deep down in the rough.
Crenshaw says that this is to bridge the gap between we Americans. Well, okay, the gap is not between Americans. Apparently, the gap is between Democrats and Republicans. Democrats and those who don't agree with them, who are then worthy of this kind of despicable mockery. But Dan Crenshaw says,
solid
let's say
swing.
never forget. That lets you all know that we're all in this together. Well, what do you vets think? I'd love to hear from you, because I think that your voice is pretty darn important in this whole thing.
And you're on the green
I want
with
to say real quick, and then we'll get to
quite
you. I've been
a
thinking
long
about this because I'm already
putt ahead of
preparing for our very important Fisher's Day Radiothon. Fisher Day Radiothon coming up the first weekend in December. We do it every year. We'll be here in studio on Friday, and on Saturday we'll be on location doing it. So I hope you can all come out. We love raising money for Fisher House. And it occurred to me, I've mentioned this, that I just finished reading this George Washington biography. Ron Cerno, it's a very new biography. It's like 2 years old, and it's the most extensive biography of George Washington ever written. And I just finished it, and I realized something. You know, people talk about the birth of our nation. The birthday we always celebrate is July 4th, 1776. It was our Declaration of Independence. That's our birthday.
And that'll keep you at even par.
But
Nice.
we weren't really the country that we know today as
Third
the
hole
United
coming
States
up.
of America with the system of laws and everything until we ratified the Constitution, right? So really our birthday is that. And here's the funny thing about all that. Before the Constitution, before the Articles of Confederacy, before we had our first Congress and our first president sworn into office, before we had a Declaration of Independence, we had a United States military. The first order of business of that second Constitutional Congress, Continental Congress, excuse me, the Second Continental Congress, the first order of business was to choose a commander-in-chief and send him out and set up a military to fight the British. When the Declaration of Independence was signed and distributed, the next day or 2 days later,
all right, 25-footer from here to the cup.
In New York to the troops. We already had a military before the Declaration of Independence, before July 4th. For about a year before the 4th of July, we had a military. Our military predates anything you know as the founding of our nation. Our military was there first. People were fighting and dying on behalf of the United States of America, and yes, that's what they called it, before we actually declared independence. So we would not be a nation without our military. Everyone says the military,
wow,
that
was just awesome. Huge putt.
Defends us.
One
yes,
under for the round.
They have fought for us so that we can continue being the United States of America.
Let's put this drive in the fairway.
They do. But let's not forget, they fought so we could be the United States of America. The incredible, courageous legacy of our military goes all the way back before the 4th of July. So if anyone's going to be thanked and honored at least one day a year, it would be our veterans. All right, Howard and Laurel. Howard, you're on WMAL. What do you want to hear? Do you want to hear thank you? What should we say?
Well, as a lot of the other callers in the previous half hour said, thank you is
that's unfortunate.
Obligatory.
Okay, the ball's sitting above your feet. That's going to make it go a little more left than usual. So you might want to compensate.
For my own reasons, and I was pleased and proud to serve. Had a great time, for the most part when I served, and I'd be happy to do it all over again. I for one feel I got as much out of it as I gave to it, honestly. So I'm thankful for the opportunity to serve.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, the one thing that got me, and this was particularly bad in the maybe up to about maybe 2 or 3 years ago. It was almost like
great contact, nice swing.
Sort of a patriotic version of "Have a Nice Day."
Yeah.
And in other words, basically meaning
37-footer here. Let's see what you can do.
It was
you
hollow.
Really don't want to hear how the person is.
Right. It was hollow. It was shallow. It didn't ring sincere. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if somebody wants to thank me for my service, great. Welcome. Let me just say that right up front. It was my privilege to do so. But if it's if you're going to say it like you mean it. Not just like "Have a nice day."
Yeah.
If I'd be far more appreciative if somebody wanted to buy me a beer and listen to a couple of war stories.
Funny you should say that, Howard. Thank you for the call, and I'll say thank you for the service. Even I promise you, it's not shallow. Coming up, we're going to continue our tradition here on Veterans Day, and we are going to ask you vets to tell your war stories. That's what we do every year. And coming up later in the program, no beer, sadly. You'll have to do that on your own.
And that'll keep you at 1 under for the round.
Like sponsored by Yingling or something. Let's
fifth hole coming up.
Let's remember a big part of this. I think the whole idea. Thank you for your service, sadly, is relatively new, right? I mean, I think that the great honor that we see for the men and women in the military, we have been seeing over the last 15, 20 years, is a reaction to the horrible neglect our veterans suffered after the Vietnam War. What happened in the 10 years after the Vietnam War, or really through the 70s, it was even during the war at the time, was so horrendous and so despicable and so
now that was a swing.
Unforgivable that we've spent decades, I think, trying our best to respond, to react, to correct because of what people in a generation older than mine, for some reason, chose to do with regard to real neglect and despicable behavior towards our combat veterans from Vietnam. And the correcting that horrible behavior began with the election of Ronald Reagan and continues. And hopefully it will continue even more. But you may be right there, Howard, that because of that, it's become this sort of, reflexive thank you for your service that it sounds more like, how you doing today. So maybe we do need to find something else. How about Larry in Alexandria? Larry, you're next up on WMAL.
Hey, how you doing, Larry?
Hey, good. What do you think of this whole thank you and the never forget thing?
It always makes me uncomfortable. It feels kind of hollow.
Mm-hmm.
But so just buy something or you
little
ID card,
underwhelming, but you're
service.
out of that stand, so that's good.
That becomes difficult. I spent time as a submariner, and I've missed Super Bowls, anniversaries, birthdays, weddings, and funerals, and every 3 or 4 months I'd come back from sea and see how much my children have grown. But I think where the thank you needs to go is to the young sailors. Do what you can to help them out. But Fisher House would be a nice thing, too, is to give to that rather than just say thank you.
How about we do both, Larry? How about we do all the above at the very least?
All right.
All right, Larry, thank you. I really appreciate it.
And that'll keep you at 1 under for the round. 6th hole coming up.
It honestly won't even compare to hearing you. So I'll leave it at that. 1 Larry is enough for this one. Sherry in Fairfax. Sherry, you're on WMAL. What would you like us to say to our vets?
Well, I'm not a veteran. I'm the wife of a Navy retiree who stood behind him all during his 27-year career.
Well, then you're a veteran in your own right, Sherry.
Definitely. And, they used to say that the job of Navy wife was the toughest job in the Navy. But what I want to say is my husband doesn't mind having people say thank you.
It's looking good.
We both think that the best thing that people can do to thank our veterans and our active duty people is to get
I stand corrected.
It's
the deep stuff for you.
Get on the job and appropriate enough money and enough oversight to make sure that the VA is run right and that our active duty people are getting the pay that they need and the benefits that they need, and for them and their families.
That's a great point. That's not even, shouldn't even be a thanks for your service. That's the bare minimum that we should be doing.
Right, but you've got to keep on these politicians because they will see ways to, we can cut this one or we can not give them the full raise that the law says they should have, or we can save money by making the retirees
doesn't look like it's on the fairway, but
it's
all right.
Which, by the way, we were promised in writing that we would have health care for our families at no cost to us the rest of our lives.
That's right.
And that is a promise that was happily broken to save money.
Yeah. Sherry, thank you. Thanks. That's a great reminder, and I appreciate it. And in fact, we should get the VA secretary on. We saw him when we were down at the White House like 3 weeks ago, and he said he definitely wanted to come back on and talk. This would be a great week to have the VA secretary on, find out what's happening there. Thank you, Sherry. How about Chip in Virginia? Chip, you are on WMAL.
Hey, Larry.
Hey.
I'm a 33-year CIA vet.
Putting from around 16 feet out.
A World War II infantry officer who was wounded in action and is now buried in Arlington. And there's so much truth and goodness has been said about the vets and how they have to be treated. But I mean, the people that serve in CIA, I've had friends that are killed and wounded and things that people never hear about. And we're vets, too.
Yeah.
And by choice, we chose something that nobody knows about. But I wish people would remember that sometimes, that there are other vets who've done stuff that you can't tell war stories about.
Mm-hmm.
But also just I wish that when it comes to military,
great pot in there for par.
Any of the people that go overseas, that the people
and that'll keep you at 1 under for the round.
The people in Hollywood would stop
Okay, here we go.
To make a plot line. What vets really deserve is not a thank you. It's to be treated with the respect that they deserve.
Well, and specific to the CIA, Chip, and there were a couple of retired paramilitary guys, special skills operators, specialized skills, I think that's the term you use.
Unusual skills.
Unusual, yeah. A couple of those guys were there. Boy, did they have stories they couldn't tell. And one thing that resonated at this dinner Saturday night with those guys, the CIA guys in particular, or that they're sick of being
great
used.
contact.
They can't speak up for themselves, as you just said, Chip. They can't. So many people in the CIA who are actually doing the hard work can't actually step up and say, hey, no, this is how it really is. And so the people who use the CIA for their own political purposes end up getting the megaphone and they don't get responded to. And boy, the anger about that and what we've seen over the last couple of years out of that agency, it was palpable the other night in some of the conversations over a bourbon. So thank you for reminding me of that, Chip. Yeah. Maybe, Chip, you guys should get a hymn. Oh, we lost Chip. See, the CIA doesn't have a hymn. Everyone's got a hymn. They get to put on a uniform. They march, and the CIA doesn't, and that's true. I'm only half kidding here. It's part of, this in the same way I just said the military won this war for us, gave us our country back in the Revolutionary War, so did the clandestine operations. The Culper Ring, the Washington could only win that war with spies. And he knew that going in. And by the way, they were spying on
you're
us.
in the rough,
It just so
but
happens
at
that
least you
our spies were
aren't
better
in the
than their
real
spies
deep stuff.
that time around. All right, more of your calls. Veterans, we want to hear from you on how you want us to thank you today. Is thank you for your service enough? Do we need to maybe say something else? Does it make you awkward? What do you want from us? 888-630 WMAL. Let's check in with Ed Rodriguez in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
This report sponsored by Bob Evans Refrigerated Sides for the holidays. And Chevy Chase, it's not over yet. We still have the right lane blocked at
Very
northbound on
nice.
Wisconsin Avenue.
Okay, for the birdie.
Response to an extinguished garbage truck fire just before Bradley Boulevard. That neighborhood, it's incongruous to have a garbage truck burn up there. But in Landover now on the Beltway's Inner Loop, we got traffic jam from Marina Drive to a crash in the left lane. It's right at Allentown Road. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, here's the WMAL Weather Channel forecast.
Tonight, we've got periods of rain, heavy at times overnight with a low of 46 degrees. So, yes, you'll be going to sleep with that thundering pitter-patter against your window. Tomorrow, cloudy skies, no more rain with a high of 51. Right now, it's 50 degrees at Reagan National at 352.
Imagine getting HD video of all the activity at your door on your smartphone. Well, that's what Maxima Smart Lights with cameras do. Plus more. Talk live with visitors wherever you are. Easy to install. Get Maxima Smart Porch
and that'll
lights
keep
and
you at
floodlights
1
at
under
Costco
for the
and
round.
Home
All right, Halloween is over. Thanksgiving is coming up.
Eighth hole
I gotta tell
coming
you,
up here.
I was
Let's
about to tell
take
you
a
that
best shot.
before you have everyone over for Thanksgiving, you got to get your carpets professionally cleaned by Zero Res, and you do. But forget about that before Thanksgiving is over thing, all right? I've been telling you this for weeks, man. They get booked, and I actually called Zero Res today, and I said, I need that mother-in-law clean. I got my mother-in-law coming for Thanksgiving. Is there any time we can? They're booked, man. They're done. It's time now to start getting your carpets cleaned now. Book before the holidays, before Christmas, before Hanukkah, before Kwanzaa, before Boxing Day, before New Year's. You're out of time now if you want to get it done before Thanksgiving. That tells you how important this is and just how busy they are. So call Zero Res. They're going to clean your carpets
Heading
professionally
for the
like no one else.
green
They don't
here.
use chemicals. It's non-toxic. They leave your carpets. They leave my carpets looking, feeling, smelling brand new again. And here's your deal. They'll still get, even though they're this busy, they're still going to give you the WMAL deal because they love WMAL. 3 rooms of carpet clean for $147 plus a hallway cleaned for free. Minimums apply. Call Zero Res 703-382-1221. 703-382-1221. And by the way, as we're talking about vets, you should know Zero Res, they go out of their way to clean the carpets at Fisher House. Fisher House homes all over the area. They clean their carpets too. Online at ZeroResDC.com.
McMillan Sedation Dentistry started over a decade ago because I wanted to be able to provide dental care to those individuals who had a fear associated with previous dental experiences. Hi, I'm Dr. Alex McMillan, and we interact with these individuals a little differently, with much more of a TLC approach. The McMillan difference is empathy. My highly trained staff treats patients like members of their own
And that'll
family.
keep you at 1 under for
And
the round.
we strive to make our most fearful patients feel completely comfortable, whether it's taking a small pill to feel relaxed or
Coming
sleeping
off
through the
a
entire
car on the
procedure.
last one. Let's see what
McMillan
happens
Sedation
here.
Dentistry services range from comprehensive and cosmetic dentistry to teeth in a day. Whether it's a single tooth or full mouth reconstruction, these implants are the new standard of care for tooth replacement and denture stabilization. We can also tailor a treatment plan to fit your schedule and financial considerations. Isn't it time for you to smile easy? Call 703-503-9490. Online at smileeasy.com. That's smileeasy.com.
Public Wi-Fi, prime hotspots for hackers. 7 on your side shows
Looks
you how
like
easy
you're gonna hit some sand here.
anyone. Numbers are still going up. 17 can be compromised. I can be you. The trick used to reel you in. Tonight on ABC 7 News at 6.
Next Live with Kelly and Ryan gets foxy. Jamie Foxx from Robin Hood.
There are reports he used to stalk celebrities.
Wesless Nights! I'll see you, Wesless Nights!
Plus, Thanksgiving cooking with Mama Seacrest.
Honey, has Ryan changed since he's been hosting the show? It's as if he's forgotten how to crack an egg. No.
Just like growing up.
Live with Kelly and Ryan. Tomorrow morning at 9 on ABC 7. Hitting a deer on the road is dangerous and costly. 7 on your side finds out if a bumper-mounted deer whistle really works to prevent a head-on collision. A deer whistle?
Not bad. You're in the
Tuesday
fairway
at
now.
6:30 on ABC 7's Good Morning Washington.
When hiring a company to replace your roof, make sure to choose one that believes in more than simply doing a job to make a profit. Valor Roofing believes in taking care of our veteran heroes and their families by every means within our power. Hi, Adam Kincaid here, owner of Valor Roofing. My father, a Vietnam War veteran, started and built our company upon the core principles of honor, respect, and trust. This way of doing business has helped Valor become one of the most hired and trusted roofers in our region. In honor of Veterans Day, I'd like to introduce you to Valor's 4th quarter Raise a Roof recipient, retired Corporal Donald Scott Dinsmore of the United States Marine Corps. Corporal Dinsmore was stationed overseas during Operation Desert Storm and worked as part of our nuclear biological defense team. Thanks for your bravery and service, Corporal. The cold weather is finally here, and this week when you choose Valor Roofing, I'll give you the shingles on the backside of your roof completely free when you buy them for the front. Plus, get a free upgrade to HD architectural shingles. Call for your free estimate today, 703-721-4931, or visit valorexteriors.com.
Very solid round after 9. Looking fantastic. All right, let's let her rip.
Yeah, you knew we were going to get around to the Army, right? Everyone always starts with the Army. We'll get there. Yes, Air Force and Coast Guard, we'll get to you as well, as we're going to talk about the vets all afternoon. But we got other topics that we're going to throw in here, too, including in a moment the son of Jack Kemp, Jimmy Kemp. And we're also going to touch on those forest fires over there in California and what should or could be done to prevent them. By the way, as we hear the Army song, now is a good time during the Army hymn to thank my Uncle Frank and my Uncle Dick for their service, and so many soldiers in Merida's family, my in-laws' family. In fact, my brother-in-law currently serving right now.
Nice. Should be in the fairway.
In the United States Army. So thank you, as always. Will in Alexandria, you are on WMAL.
And
what do you
from
think of this
here,
whole thank you for your service
we're right around
versus
170
never
yards
forget
out.
Hey, how's it going? I'll tell you this, Dan Crenshaw is an outstanding American. I served with him at Camp Simmons in Afghanistan. I was there during the time frame where he had the accident, and the incident wasn't an accident.
Yeah.
But he lost his sight in his right eye, and he badly damaged the other one. To tell you the truth, I completely lost track of him until the Saturday Night Lights. I had no clue he was running for Congress.
So he's going to be in town
for
now,
Birdie.
Will. You should reach out.
Well, I'm only here briefly, but
all right.
the dude is a beast, okay? I mean, I'm talking about clean and pressing, 245. He's an absolute beast. Pete Davidson better be glad he's on his side.
Yeah, he was lucky that he got off clean on that. We're looking forward to having Congressman Crenshaw in town, and we're glad you're in town, at least for a little while, Will. All right, keep it here. Vets, stay on the line. We'll get to your calls as well. I want to keep talking to you all afternoon. Coming up, Jack Kemp's son. Here comes Dennis Miller.
The Miller Minute with Dennis Miller.
I want to talk about the alleged importance of getting out the vote.
With Election Day over, I feel comfortable offering up what I expect to be something of an unpopular message, which is that everyone should get out and vote as long as they want to. But if you need to be persuaded to do your civic duty by pushy celebrities or social media peer pressure by seeing so many of your friends and family wearing I voted stickers, do what's best for yourself and for the country and just stay home on Election Day. I'll admit I'm not always an expert or the most qualified candidate is for the State Board of Equalization or the
and that'll keep you at 1 under for the round.
True, but I walk into the polling place with a reasonably informed point of view. But if you have absolutely no idea of any of the candidates or what they stand for, why would you ruin an afternoon just because everyone tells you that you need to? They'll say if you don't vote, you can't complain. Oh yeah? We're Americans. Complaints are our #1 import and export. And that's the Minute. I'm Dennis Miller. If you or a loved one struggles with leg or foot cramps, you've got to try TheraWorks Relief. This non-greasy foam is proven to relieve muscle cramps fast. And with daily use, TheraWorks Relief can even prevent muscle cramps, so you can get a full night's sleep or do activities you love without worry. TheraWorks Relief only takes minutes to apply, absorbs quickly, and it works.
Heading for the green here.
For preventing and relieving muscle cramps. Get TheraWorks Relief today in the pain relief aisle at Walmart, CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, or at TheraWorksRelief.com.
Attention all authors. Page Publishing is looking for authors. Have you written a book and want to get it published? Page Publishing will get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, Apple iTunes, and other outlets. They handle all aspects of the publishing process for you. Printing, cover art, publicity, copyright, and editing. Call 800-501-3689 now for your free author submission kit. That's 800-501-3689 for your free author submission kit. Again, 800-501-3689.
Okay, 11-footer here. This is definitely makeable.
WMAL Washington. Your first place Redskins play here. 105.9 FM and AM 630. WMAL, a Cumulus station. News now.
WMAL News at 4. I'm Maria Leaf. Rain moving into our area, and you can expect the ride home tonight, and if you're going out later this evening, to be slow, according to National Weather Service forecaster Brian Lasorsa.
We have a couple storm systems we're watching. One's going to be for late this afternoon, and tonight we're just going to bring a steady rain to the area, and then another one we're looking at impacting the area on, looks to be on Thursday at this point, with another steady rain across the area.
And he says with that storm on Thursday, we have the chance for a wintry mix.
I think for D.C.,
and that'll keep you at 1 under for the round.
Sleet on the leading edge of it, that's not out of the question, but I think your temperatures will be above freezing, so I don't expect much of an impact from winter precipitation at this point season.
The wildfires
coming off a par on the last one. Let's see what happens here.
Los Angeles County Fire Chief Darrell Osby was asked today about his reaction to the president's tweet blaming, quote, gross mismanagement for the wildfires in California.
It's very hurtful for all first responders that are putting their lives in the line to protect lives and property, and I will conclude my comments there.
Another hazing incident at a Montgomery County High School, or Montgomery County School, rather, coming to light.
Students on the Seneca Valley High School football team in Germantown allegedly sexually touched another player in September. It follows allegations of violent hazing in the county at Damascus High, where criminal charges have been filed.
This is a different incident than what's being alleged at Damascus, and we have taken the appropriate disciplinary actions.
Derek Turner, spokesman for Montgomery County Public Schools. The Seneca Valley victim did not press charges.
We're certainly concerned that this might be a problem outside of these two isolated.
No good. Okay, you're kind of in some deep stuff. This is the danger zone.
Win Delano on WMAL and WMAL.com.
Incumbent Senator Bill Nelson says he wants his Republican opponent to recuse himself from a recount underway in Florida's hotly contested Senate race.
Senator Bill Nelson's opponent is Florida Republican Governor Rick Scott, and Nelson says Scott is not playing fair.
He's thrown around words like voter fraud without any proof. He stood on the steps of the governor's mansion and tried to use the Florida Department of Law Enforcement to investigate the Broward elections chief.
In a video, Senator Nelson adds he wants every ballot counted and insists Governor Scott does not.
Correspondent Linda Kenyon.
Back on the fairway. Let's see if we can stick it on the green from here. Okay, 180 yards from the pin here.
In an interview, Stan Lee once said he never counted on stardom for his characters like Iron Man or Spider-Man, or for himself.
I never had any idea that these characters would last this long. In fact, I and the people I worked with who co-created them with me, the many talented artists, we just hoped Well,
looks like this may be in the deep stuff.
And we'd continue to get our salary and be able to pay our rent.
Checking your money ahead of the close. The Dow right now down 599 points. The S&P 500 down 55. The NASDAQ down 206.
I thought for sure you were heading for trouble with that last shot. But you proved me wrong.
Amazon Echo to hear Rush weekdays noon to 3.
Here, folks, listen to this.
For one-time setup, say, Alexa, enable WMAL skill. Then to listen, just say, Alexa, open WMAL.
You've got me now.
Details at WMAL.com.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda has suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure performed in the office of Capital Breathe Free by Dr. Khanna called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like
9-footer
like
here.
Really
See what we can do.
And not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion, headaches? Call and set an appointment with Dr. Khanna today at Capital Breathe Free Sinus and Allergy. Call 202-816-8800. 202-816-8800. That's 202-816-8800.
Nice spot there.
Don't replace the carpets. Get a zero-res clean and
that takes you up to even par.
Imagine getting HD video of all activity at your door on your smartphone. That's what Maximus
Okay, it's time to send this ball on its way.
More. Talk live with visitors wherever you are. So easy to install. Get Maximus Smart Porch Lights and Floodlights at Costco and Home Depot.
WMAL traffic and weather. Here's Ed Rodriguez in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
This report sponsored by GEHA in Landover. The Beltway's Inner Loop's jammed now from Marina Drive to a crash in the left lane at Allentown Road. On the outer loop, everybody slowing for a look between Branch Avenue and Allentown Road. And Chevy Chase, the right lane of northbound Wisconsin Avenue,
solid
still
swing
blocked by response to an extinguished garbage truck fire. It's right before Bradley Boulevard. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Weather Channel forecast.
Rain tonight, heavy at times,
and
low
looks
46,
like
cloudy tomorrow,
I'd say 160 yards or so out
it's
from the
48 right
pin.
now in Fort Washington, 50 at Reagan National. I'm Maria Leaf on Washington's Mall, WMAL.
Now, the Larry O'Connor Show at AM 630.
We are honoring our veterans all day today, as well everyone should be. We're continuing to hear from you about how you want to be thanked. And we're also going to hear your war stories coming up a little later. We'll talk about Stan Lee, too. Death of a man. Why do we need superheroes? Why are they so important? They are important. They always have been. We'll talk about that coming up. We'll also talk about those fires in California.
And we have a 27-footer from here to the
Florida,
cup.
And what the heck just happened in Arizona? I think we're going to touch base with Matt Schlepp on that recount deal coming up in a bit. Right now, though, I'm very much looking forward to this conversation. He is the son of former congressman, former vice presidential nominee, and former HUD Secretary Jack Kemp. He is Jimmy Kemp. Jimmy or Jim?
I'm Jimmy. Jimmy, Larry.
All right. Well, I'm great, and I'm just honored to talk to you. I was a huge fan of your father's. I'm a kid of the Reagan era. I thought he was such an important voice during those times, and I miss him terribly. I'm sure you do too.
Well, we're grateful to have had him for his healthy lifespan. He died too early, too young when he was 72. But
and with that, you will stay at even par. Okay, let's put this ball out there.
Freedom died way too young, but contributed so incredibly much. So I appreciate your kind words, and we're grateful that he was able to serve the country in the way that he did, and I'm certainly grateful that he was my dad and taught me how to throw a football.
Yeah, I'll say. I want to hear those stories in a minute, because I can't imagine having a dad as a congressman, a vice presidential nominee, but really an NFL quarterback. Now, that's something else. But let's talk about your big event tomorrow night, the Jack Kemp Foundation. You're having your dinner tomorrow night, and, boy, this is a great, when you can get Ben Sass,
nice
Kate
swing.
Coles James, Senator Tim Scott, and Ivanka Trump all together for the same reason, you've got a transcendent message.
Well, the reality...
And we're right around 225 yards out here.
We all believe in
an America that is united by what we call the American idea. It's what my dad called it. And that's our mission at the Jack Kemp Foundation, to advance the American idea. And there's so much that ties us together, especially on a day like Veterans Day. Not only the petty political divisions inside one party or the other, but these really are smaller divisions when you think about it compared to the mission that so many men and women have died for. Having a country that has equality of opportunity for all, and where we recognize the way that human nature works. We are driven by incentives to better our lives, and handouts don't work. People need opportunity. So that's really what's pulling us together tomorrow evening. We're honoring a guy named Sean Parker, who came up with an idea called opportunity zones that President Trump pushed into the congressional tax reform bill late in 2017, and that was driven by Senator Tim Scott, who will be with us, as you mentioned. He'll be with us tomorrow night.
10-footer here. This is makeable.
We're excited to do it, and we think it'll be a good reminder for everyone of how we can pull together, even across party lines, let alone some of the internal dissension that exists.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Jimmy Kemp, sadly, dear friends and family members of mine have passed away. Andrew Breitbart, one of them, and everyone wants to say, oh, what would Andrew Breitbart think of Donald Trump? And I never answer that question because you never know. And I wouldn't ask you what your dad would think of President Trump now, because I'm sure that it's impossible to give a short answer to that. However, something hit me, and I even mentioned it on the air at the time. When he went to Detroit right before the election and gave that speech about economic opportunity, and he said, "You can vote for Democrats,
for the
and
round.
you got nothing to show for it. Look at what's going on in Detroit. What have you got to lose? Give this a chance." I said on the air, I bet Jack Kemp would have loved this,
15th hole
because
coming
your dad
up.
did go to Detroit. He went to the inner city of Los Angeles. He gave those speeches, and no one ever saw it. The cameras weren't around. And talk a little bit about those empowerment zones and your father's vision and how it's playing out now.
Well, just really quickly, Larry, empowerment zones were President Clinton's bastardized policy from my dad's.
You are so right. Thank you. Isn't that sad that I did that? And I know that. Opportunity zones. You're so right. I'm so sorry.
Well, hold on. So today we have opportunity zones, and Clinton had empowerment zones, and Kemp had enterprise zones. So you don't need to get caught in the weeds. Basically you got it. But this legislation unleashes private sector capital into distressed communities. It's not a government handout. It's a private sector investment.
All right, 145 yards out.
Hey, I've got a deal. I've got a deal for you. You invest with me. I'm going to make you money. That's the American way. There's a risk of failure. This country, nothing is promised to you, but everything is possible to you, and that's the core of the American idea. And so, that's what we're talking about. I will say this. I've been asked that question, would your dad, or what would he think of President Trump? I know this, that my dad criticized President Reagan when President Reagan was in office. It was friendly fire. He criticized President Carter when President Carter was in office. Same with his own, the president whom he served, H.W. My dad criticized him. He spoke his mind.
Good stuff.
My father,
all right, this next one's for Birdie.
Should criticize the president appropriately on the substance when it is called for. But you also respect the office, and you recognize that it's policy that matters. It's not all the other things that kind of get people hung up. So I think opportunity zones is a great example of a substantive policy development, and obviously tax reform as well, which is critical. And that's an accomplishment that's worth cheering and telling folks about, and making sure that people can have more of a chance at the American dream.
Are you, Jimmy Kemp, do you live in the Washington area here? Are you a local guy, or did you...
I live in Northwest D.C. I'm coaching football in the Rockville Football League.
And that'll keep you at 1 under for the round.
12-year-olds in the Super Bowl out in Rockville.
Okay, here we go.
On Saturday, actually, we're playing at Bullis. And then I have two sons who play football at Gonzaga High School, and they just upset St. John's, and they're playing DeMatha in the WCAC championship on Sunday.
Oh,
so
all right.
I've got, this is a big week for me, Larry. Larry.
It sure is. Well, you must find it so amusing to see these very liberal politicians all around the area bending over backwards to get Amazon here. I've interviewed a couple of them, and they say, well, it's worth getting Amazon here because it's what they'll do for the community with all the jobs and the businesses and all of these things. And
this one's looking dialed in.
From Montgomery County Council, I said, you sound like Jack Kemp. This is supply-side economics. Isn't it amusing to see?
It is. But
all right, we got a 22-footer. Let's see if we can do this.
Democrats should understand that when businesses are coming to an area, that's good for the community. We want more jobs. We want more competition. And, we certainly, and that's why Governor Hogan won. I think Marylanders want more jobs. They definitely favor the economic growth policies of Governor Hogan to what the Democrats have offered.
So which NFL question do you want here in the last minute? What would your dad think of the kneeling thing and how the NFL's handled it, or how they're treating quarterbacks right now like they should be wrapped in bubble wrap?
I can do both of them quickly.
All right.
So quarterbacks should not be...
And that'll keep you at 1 under for the round.
I played quarterback in the Canadian...
Okay, 17th hole. Take your best shot.
Reasonable. We need to protect people's heads and get the head out of it, but some of it is definitely too much. On the kneeling thing, Senator Tim Scott gave a number of speeches on the Senate floor about being stopped walking into the Capitol. He acknowledges that there is something, walking while black. We have not overcome some of our horrible history in this country. There's still work to be done on racial relations. Players should be able to do what they want, but teams...
This one's looking good.
They're the employer. So I think the conversation needs to be healthy. People shouldn't, point fingers.
Looking at around 155 yards out from here.
A little bit misguided, maybe significantly misguided in his approach, but they're... Malcolm Jenkins from the Eagles and Anquan Bolden from the used to play for the 49ers and Ravens, they are talking about solutions rather than just protest. They want to focus on how the issues really can be addressed, and I think that is a positive. It's called the Players Coalition.
Well, and I do love that Dan Snyder and Bruce Allen here for the Redskins just said, this is not going to happen with our team, Jimmy Kemp. Did you end up being a Redskins fan living in the area here?
Well, Larry...
Or are you stuck with the Bills?
Okay, let's get this ball onto the green so we can start with the putt.
I up, but I confess to being a front runner. I grew up in Bethesda, and I love the Dallas Cowboys, and I apologize. I hope I didn't just ruin the whole interview.
Yeah, we're done here.
I don't like the Cowboys anymore, though. I'm not a Cowboys fan.
We're done here. We're done here, Kemp. You're dead to me. No, I'm kidding.
And I do love the Redskins now.
Good.
I love them now.
All right. Well, we'll welcome you on. We will welcome you on. Jimmy Kemp, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck with the football games this week, and don't be a stranger. Good luck with the event tomorrow night as well.
Thanks for having me, Larry.
That is the Jack Kemp Foundation Leadership Award Dinner, and I don't even know if there's still anything available, but it's at Audi Field. Check it out. It's an incredible lineup with Ben Sass, Kay Coles James Hofer from Heritage, Senator Tim Scott, and Ivanka Trump. It's now well past time, but I enjoyed that conversation way too much. Let's go to Ed Rodriguez at the D Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
I know, it's like listening to his dad, isn't it?
Yeah, it sounds just like him.
In Laytonsville, Route 108 still closed down right through the middle of town for the emergency utility repairs. They hope it's going to be reopened by 5. The parameters on that are Warfield over to Brink Roads. In Largo, the Beltway's inner loop still jams up from 202 to a crash in the left lane at Allentown Road. Outer loop slowing for a look at that accident between Branch Avenue and Allentown Road. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Weather Channel forecast.
A chilly and occasionally wet November weather pattern on the way this week. We'll see occasional rain as we go through the nighttime hours. Rainfall could be heavy at times, up to an inch possible. Watch for ponding of water on the roadways, just short of maybe a flash flood potential, but still some wet roadways for sure. Big puddles, lows in the mid-40s. On and off rain expected Tuesday. Gusty northwest winds, a high only around 50. I'm meteorologist Mark Thibodeau from the Weather Channel on WMAL.
Right now it's 50 degrees in the nation's capital at 418. Don't leave money on the table when selling your home. Debbie and Sarah Reynolds with Keller Williams will guarantee 100% of your asking price, or they will pay you the difference.
Okay, we're about 17 feet out here.
844-SOLD, or go to DebbieHasTheBuyers.com. Start EMP 180 today, and you'll be feeling great. and looking great and fitting into some clothes by the time Christmas rolls around. Seriously, you'll lose some significant weight in that short a time. That's what happened with me. And when all is said and done, after 4 months, I lost over 40 pounds, and I feel great about it, and I've kept it off. EMP 180 has become the gold standard for the nutritionally based weight loss here in the Washington, D.C. area. You're going to lose weight. You're going to lose fat. You're going to gain muscle, but then you'll learn to eat in a sustainable way.
Great pot in there.
EMP 180 is programmed to fit into your unique and busy lifestyle. You'll sit
and that'll keep you at 1 under for the round.
This is what I do. This is my schedule.
So a nice drive out on this one.
This is what I eat right now, and boom, bam, bing. They're going to give you a whole plan, and you'll see the weight come off. Gentlemen, you'll be amazed how quickly it happens. You really will. And you'll be feeling great by New Year's, and that's the best gift you've ever given yourself. So get that consultation now. Just give them a call and get things set up, right? Get a jump start on that New Year's Eve resolution. Go to Alexandria, Rockville, Woodbridge, Tyson's Corner, and now their newest location in Ashburn. It's 855-888-0180, 855-888-0180, or visit emp180weightloss.com.
Looking for a stable investment with a great rate of return? Try certificates from PenFed Credit Union. Right now, we're offering some of our highest rates ever, 2 to 5 times higher than the national average. It's easy to open an account online, by phone, or in a nearby PenFed branch. For more information, visit PenFed.org today. National average based on information sourced from FDIC as of November 5th. To receive any advertised product, you must become a member of PenFed, federally insured by NCUA.
Day in and day out, I get to give back to the military family that I grew up in. I served 20 years in the military and 13 years with United Concordia Dental. My name is Sharon, and my mission is Healthy Mouths.
Many military retirees have found their second mission working at United Concordia Dental. And this year, they're proud to welcome newly eligible military retirees and federal employees into the 2019 FedVIP program. Look for FedVIP open season beginning November 12th. Visit fedvip.unitedconcordia.com today for more information.
The stories that have been breaking while you've been at work. This is the Larry O'Connor Show.
There you go. So we didn't forget you, Air Force. And by the way, I've been told that there is a CIA hymn, a song. We'll get to that in a minute. That's good. It's nice. We are asking you, veterans, how do you want to be thanked today? You saw now soon-to-be Representative Crenshaw saying on Saturday Night Live this week, magnanimously forgiving that comedian Pete Davidson. He said, hey, you can thank a veteran, but how about say never forget? So you let them know that we're in this together. Do you like that? What do you like? How about Nate in La Plata? You are on WMAL, Nate.
How's it going, Larry? First-time caller. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you calling.
As far as people are in regards to people saying thank you, thank you for your service, I don't see it to be too big of a deal. Just the fact that anybody says anything at all is definitely, I'm very appreciative of it myself, but there are times that, I can see why people might feel a little bit awkward about it or, something like that because, I myself, there are times that I feel that I'm somewhat undeserving.
Well, you're in the deep stuff here. I think they call this the cabbage. Let's just try to make some solid contact and get that ball heading in the right direction.
War stories of theirs, and all the guts and glory, and there's times you feel like you really didn't do enough that you could have, or you always felt that you could have done more, so that's kind of where the awkwardness might come from, I would say.
Well, Nate, I do understand that, but of course you know better than anyone that it takes the entire corps, it takes the entire branch, it takes the entire platoon, it takes the entire company to have that infrastructure and have that support so that a few can do great things. So, I mean, you were part of
good job out there. 2 under for your final score.
You were there.
Thanks for the round. It was a pretty fun little time.
I know you're saying what you're saying, but I understand how it might feel for me, somebody who never wore a uniform. I mean, if you feel awkward hearing a thank you because you didn't do enough, imagine me. I didn't even come close to doing enough.
That's why I say, though, that just a simple thank you is more than enough. And to kind of caveat on what a gentleman said earlier in a previous call,